Risner tells him to break off. He'll take the shot. Risner rolls in behind the MiG, closes to 1,000 feet, squeezes the trigger. Nothing. His guns are jammed too. The MiG pilot doesn't know this. He's diving for the deck, trying to escape. Risner stays on him. If he breaks off, the MiG escapes. If he stays, maybe his guns will clear. At 5,000 feet, Risner is 100 feet behind the MiG. His guns still won't fire. He's out of options. So he does something no pilot is trained to do. He pushes the throttle forward and rams his F-86's nose into the MiG's tail. This is the story of the only documented aerial ramming in jet combat where both pilots survived. And what happens in the next 4 minutes will prove that sometimes desperation creates the only tactic that works. Risner is 26 years old. Oklahoma farm kid. Joined the Air Force in 1943 as an enlisted mechanic. Worked his way through flight school. By 1952, he's one of the most aggressive pilots in the 4th Fighter Wing 8 kills, known for pressing attacks closer than anyone else will go. The mission is standard combat air patrol. 4 F-86 orbiting the Yalu River, waiting for MiG-15 to come up from Chinese bases. The MiGs usually operate in formations of 6 or 8, diving on American fighter bombers, then climbing back across the Yalu where American fighters can't follow. Today, 2 MiGs make a mistake. They separate from their formation, probably chasing an F-84 that's running for home. Risner's flight sees them. Risner takes the lead MiG. His wingman, Lieutenant Joe Logan, takes the trailer. Logan gets a radar lock, closes to 2,000 feet, presses the trigger. Nothing. His M3 Browning machine guns have frozen at altitude. This happens sometimes. The gun heating system fails. Moisture in the ammunition freezes. The guns jam. Logan calls it out. Risner acknowledges. He's already diving on the lead MiG. Range, 3,000 feet. He centers the pipper on the MiG's fuselage, presses the trigger. Click. Nothing. His guns are jammed too. Standard procedure says break off. Return to base. Get the guns fixed. Come back tomorrow. But Risner knows that MiG pilot has already killed American aircraft. Maybe bomber crews. Maybe pilots Risner knows. And if he lets this MiG go, it'll be back tomorrow, killing more Americans. Risner makes a decision. He's going to stay on this MiG until something happens. Either his guns clear, or he figures out another way. The MiG pilot sees the F-86 staying with him and dives, full throttle, descending through 30,000 feet at 600 miles per hour. The pilot is good. He's not flying straight. He's jinking, rolling, making random heading changes to throw off Risner's aim. Risner stays with him. Every turn the MiG makes, Risner matches. He's 200 feet behind now, close enough to see the pilot's helmet through the canopy. He tries his guns again, still jammed. At 15,000 feet, the MiG pilot tries something desperate. He cuts his throttle and deploys his speed brakes. This is a soccer move. Slow down suddenly, make the American overshoot, reverse positions. It works against inexperienced pilots. Risner isn't inexperienced. He sees the MiG's speed brakes deploy and immediately does the same thing. Cuts throttle, speed brakes out. The F-86 decelerates hard. Risner stays in position, 100 feet behind the MiG. The MiG pilot realizes the tactic failed and retracts his speed brakes, accelerates again, but he's wasted time and altitude. He's down to 8,000 feet, still over North Korea, and he's got an F-86 locked onto his tail that won't go away. At 5,000 feet, Risner is so close he can see the rivets on the MiG's tail. He tries his guns one more time. Still jammed, he's thinking about what to do next when he notices something. The MiG's exhaust is right in front of him, hot gas streaming from the jet pipe. Risner thinks, if I get into that exhaust stream, my engine might flame out, but what if I just touch him? Not a full ram, just a tap. Knock him off balance, make him crash, or force him to eject. It's crazy. Collision at 500 miles per hour means both aircraft probably disintegrate, but Reisner is running out of altitude. In another minute, the MiG will be on the deck, running for Chinese airspace at treetop level where Reisner can't follow. Reisner advances his throttle. The F-86 creeps forward, 80 feet, 60 feet, 40 feet. He can see the MiG pilot looking back, sees the pilot's eyes go wide when he realizes what Reisner is doing. At 20 feet, Reisner nudges the stick forward. The F-86's nose touches the MiG's tail. It's not a hard impact, just a bump, like two cars touching in a parking lot. The effect is catastrophic. The MiG's tail snaps up. The nose drops. The aircraft tumbles, completely out of control. The pilot has no time to react. 1 second he's flying straight and level. The next second his aircraft is spinning. Reisner pulls back hard to avoid hitting the MiG again. The F-86 climbs. Reisner looks down, sees the MiG tumbling toward the ground. At 2,000 feet, the MiG's canopy blows off. The pilot ejects. His parachute deploys. The MiG impacts the ground and explodes. Reisner circles once to confirm the kill, then turns for home. His hands are shaking. He just rammed another aircraft at 500 miles per hour, and his F-86 is still flying. When he lands at Kimpo Air Base 20 minutes later, his crew chief inspects the aircraft. There's a small dent in the nose. Paint scuffed. That's it. No structural damage. The F-86 is flight ready. The gun armorer checks Reisner's weapons. All 6 M3 Brownings are jammed. Frozen firing pins. The guns hadn't fired because of a lubrication problem at altitude. The intelligence officer debriefs Reisner. Wants to know how he got the kill. Reisner explains. The officer is skeptical. Says that's impossible. You can't ram another aircraft and survive. Reisner shows him the paint transfer on the F-86's nose. Shows him the gun camera footage. There it is, clear as day. F-86 nose touching MiG tail, MiG tumbling, pilot ejecting. The kill is confirmed. F-86 Sabre, Captain Robinson Reisner. Air-to-air, kill by ramming. First and only in jet combat. Word spreads through the fighter wings. Pilots think it's insane. Some think it's brilliant. Most think Reisner is lucky he didn't kill himself. The Soviets hear about it too. They're flying many of the MiG-15s in Korea, officially as advisors. A Soviet pilot filed a report about being rammed by an American jet. His story matches Reisner's. The Soviet pilot survived with a broken leg. Here's why this matters. Air combat has rules, tactics, training, doctrine. You do X, the enemy does Y, you counter with Z. It's structured, predictable. But sometimes the situation doesn't fit the doctrine. Guns jam, missiles don't fire. The enemy doesn't do what he's supposed to do. In those moments, pilots have to improvise. Reisner improvised. He saw a problem, no guns, and created a solution that wasn't in any manual. It was dangerous, it was crazy, but it worked. Robinson Reisner finished the Korean War with 8 confirmed kills. He stayed in the Air Force, flew in Vietnam, was shot down, and spent 7 years as a POW in the Hanoi Hilton. He was tortured. He survived. He came home in 1973. He retired as a brigadier general in 1976. Died in 2013 at age 88. His obituary mentioned his Medal of Honor from Vietnam, his time as a POW, his leadership. It didn't mention that he once rammed a MiG-15 with an F-86 and lived to tell about it. But every fighter pilot knows the story. It's legend. Because sometimes the only way to win is to do something no one expects, even if it means using your aircraft as a weapon.